What's going on, and welcome back to another episode of Redefining Issued Equipment. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about the Army Issued TAP system. Now, this is a system that's replacing the flick for guys that have been in for a while. So whether you're a new guy and this is the first time you've seen this and the first time you're setting this up, or you're somebody that's a little bit more experienced and been in for a while and you're trying to figure out how to configure this thing and what all is going on, because it is a little bit chaotic. There is a lot going on with this system. Or you're somebody that's advising a conventional unit and helping them set up their equipment so that way it's just running a little bit more efficiently. Whatever the case may be, I'm going to try and give you some solutions to how to set this up, and in a future video have a loadout and SOP recommendations so that way you're getting the most out of this system and you're able to run the equipment that you're going to need to be able to shoot, move, communicate, and medicate over multiple mission sets, whether it's patrolling, raids, urban environment operations, or anything in between. Be able to help with any one of those mission sets, as well as be able to run and configure this in any number of different designated roles, whether you're a DSM, an RTO, just a rifleman, or you're in a leadership position. I'm going to address a lot of that in that future video. So keep an eye out for that, because that will address a lot of things when it comes to this whole system and how you can get the most out of it and get the most multifunctional setup when it comes down to it. So I'm going to give a brief overview of what this entire thing looks like, and then I'm going to go over that mod that you can do to one of these 4 magazine pouches on the front, so that way you have a better active retention system with this shot cord or bungee cord and a pull tab, instead of using the nylon straps that this comes with and the Velcro that's on there. So one complaint though, and jumping right into the this whole entire system and some things that I've heard from guys that are actually using this system, there's a lot of people that don't like Velcro, and it almost any pouch that has Velcro, somebody's going to say, oh, noise and light discipline because of the Velcro. My solution to that is just push everything into that pocket, and then you can set up something like this elastic system to replace that nylon strap and the Velcro that's on there. So other than that, I mean, this thing is kind of big, but the cool thing about it being somewhat big is you can run this for different types of recon missions, like I said earlier, and then you can configure this for a lot of different things when it comes down to it. So going over the outline of this thing though, you have all of your MOLLE on the front, and what I like to keep this MOLLE for is your specific mission sets and any type of specific mission equipment that you may need, as well as setting up the front of this and all the MOLLE for any designated roles that you may find yourself being put in. So I would leave the MOLLE open for any one of those things, so that way you can address those and solve those problems right away. And then you have these 8 magazine pouches across the entire panel. Now, I only use 4 of these because I'm also using a Blue Force Gear 10-speed magazine pouch on top of this, so that way if you need to bump it up to 8 mags, you have the ability to, and then you can open up these pockets for other equipment. With that said, that's pretty much the entire front of this entire system. You have your MOLLE and then your mag pouches, and then you have this one row of MOLLE on the front of this that sits behind the magazines. On the back side of this, you have 3 pouch pockets, or 3 pockets. You have your zipper pocket on the right hand side, and I like using that for land navigation and the equipment that I need for that. And then on the left side, you have a Velcro pocket, and I like to use that for your med kit. It's almost a perfect size for your med kit if you're going to use a food saver bag and vacuum seal that med kit all together. And then you have this center pocket for pretty much admin equipment, and that's what I like to put in there. So that's really the entirety of this system, or whole system. You have a kind of an X harness that comes with it, and this is what it looks like. It's not bad, but it's also not great when it comes down to it. So just make sure when you're setting this whole thing up, you're elastic looping all of your straps, so that way they're not hanging out and getting caught on anything. So I'm going to leave this harness out of the equation for now though, and I want to talk specifically about this mod that you can do to the front of this, so that way you have this active bungee retention system for your mags, and it's just going to help hold those mags in place. One thing when it comes down to this, in the brief little bit that I've been using it and just testing it out, these magazine pockets are loose enough to where the mags will just fall right out. So having this elastic system on there to be able to retain the mags does help a lot. So when it comes to setting this up, you're going to need either 3/16 or 1/8 inch shot cord or bungee cord, and you're probably going to need roughly about 18 inches total for this entire system. If you want to go a little bit shorter, you can, but just be cautious and cognizant of if you go too short, you're going to put a lot of tension on the line and it may not function as you would like it to. So with that said, you're going to run your running ends of this shock cord through from the bottom to the top, so then that way you get that nice contact point on the bottom of that MOLLE row, and then this is just going to fold right over. If you want to put the mag in there, you can, and then that way you can just run that right over the top, throw your elastic loop on there, or your tubular nylon or nylon strap loop for your pull tab, and then you're just going to come through the front and run it straight through either side of the MOLLE for that pouch, and then tie it off on the bottom. Pull a little bit of the slack out, tie your knot. Just a simple overhand knot is all you need, and that is it. There really isn't a whole lot to it. You're going to end up covering these up anyways in the future, so you don't have to worry about the tails on these. If you want to cut them down and have them nice and small and don't have a huge signature, you can go ahead and do that. My preferred method when it comes down to setting this entire thing up is using a nylon strap just like this. I think it does a better job for these pull tabs, as well as using 1/8 inch shock cord, because one thing that you can do, and this will fit a 148 or a 152 radio in this mag pouch, if you have that 1/8 inch, it just does a little bit better job of retaining the magazine pouch. Now you can't really do the whole elastic loop and retention system over here. If you do it, however, you may have to cut into your whole entire tap system to be able to get that contact point and tie that in. So just keep that in mind if you are going to do that. It is possible though, and you can run like a single whole grommet to be able to set that whole system up. Now it's going to take a little bit of work, and there's going to be a lot more involved when doing something like that, but do know that you can fit a 148 or a 152 radio in one of these pouches, so there is enough space it will fit. With that said though, that is really it. This whole entire system, I mean, it is pretty straightforward. There is a little bit going on when it comes down to it. I think the 8 mag pouches or pockets on the front of this is a little bit excessive. I don't think it's necessary, but that said, it does open up the entire system to be able to run this over multiple mission sets and use these mag pouches for other equipment. So do take that into consideration, and keep a lookout for that loadout and SOP recommendation video that we're going to do in the future. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment. We'll answer any questions that you have. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.